Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming News. Today is the 1st April 2018. Sorry for the fake out there. It was sort of my April Fool's joke. But so you might notice we are still not up on Steemit yet because Steemit is down for some reason. I really don't know why. Either it's their April Fool's joke, maybe there's a hard fork coming, but who cares? We got gaming news and we need to cover it. So first we're going to talk about a new law that is going to be signed in Kansas that is all about anti-SWATting. And the second story today is about a petition signed by almost 90,000 people against the new rules by Valve against trading in CSGO. But we will begin with the law that is going to be passed in Kansas pretty soon. It's like any day now, any moment. Like right now he's holding a pen, I think, maybe. But it's a law that is there to show that swatting is freaking bad, and if you're going to do it, you will be severely punished. Because right now, the swatting punishments aren't necessarily so high. Usually they range something between 3 to 5 years. So Kansas decided after a small incident, small quote unquote, where a person actually died because of this stupid ass prank, that they will turn the notch up to 11. Because right now the maximum that is going to be punishable because you swatted is going to be 41 years. And that is one hell of a sentence. Obviously not everyone will get this sort of punishment. The lowest time you will be now able to get is around 10 years in prison, but that is still one hell of a sentence. What will depend is how much crimes you didn't pass, essentially. And I'm going to assume that most people who do this sort of prank aren't going to be particularly heavy on criminal history, so I'm going to assume the average is going to be somewhere around 15 years. But still, that's 3 times more than what is currently the norm for this sort of thing. And I gotta say, I am very, very glad that this is happening. Because swatting has just been becoming almost normal in the gaming community for some godforsaken reason. I just don't get it at all. Maybe it's because I'm not American. Because the only country when this seems to have to be happening is America. Nowhere in the world have I heard of swatting being a thing other than the United States. And it is really needed to show that people who do this are going to get severely punished. Not only because the prank is dangerous, but mainly because of that. The other reasons are that just we don't want these sort of people inside our community. We really don't. Because we gamers, I think, on average, we can do amazing things. Even if we're just plain average Joes. We can do truly amazing things. Just look at the memorial that was held for Stephen Hawking. Or many of the instances people had just taken together and raised money for one of their friends who got into trouble. There were so many instances of that. But then you have that one idiot over there who thinks it's going to be cool to send a SWAT team towards his friends because I am a cool kid and this is the cool thing to do. No, it isn't, you fucking idiot. It just isn't. So I'm very glad that Kansas decided to do this, and even though it won't likely deter that many people, it might deter people in Kansas. Sadly, Kansas is actually not that big of a part of the United States of America. It's a decently big state. It's not one of the most heavily populated, but it's a start. And hopefully more other states in the United States will come to the decision that swatting needs to be punished more heavily. I sincerely hope that that will happen. Okay, and our second piece of news is about a petition that 90,000 people have signed against new Counter-Strike Global Offensive trading rules. The rules, just the gist of it, essentially now you have to wait for a week before you can trade an item away. Steam said that the aim of this is to stop automated Steam accounts from trading items very frequently through third-party services. Unfortunately, some of these third-party services have become a vector for fraud or scams. Unlike players, these services rely on the ability to trade each item very frequently. In contrast, a given item moves between actual players no more than once a week in the majority of cases. And they actually discussed the fact that this will probably piss off a few people. They said it will be disruptive to some players. And the petition showcases that that's more than a few people. At this moment, there is 109,285. 6 people, 8, 9. It just keeps growing who have signed this. I personally will not sign this, as I don't really care. I don't play CSGO, I don't trade skins. The question for me is, what will happen once Artifact comes out? Because that is a game I'm actually planning on playing somewhat seriously. Will these rules apply there as well, especially if it is supposed to be a trading card game? And if not, how exactly do you plan to prevent fraud with Artifact? Because if you have a plan for Artifact and you don't plan to put on these rules there as well, why couldn't you just put them to CSGO? That would make much more sense. Alternatively, if you actually plan to use this for CSGO, for Artifact, that might be a thing that will turn off a lot of people who could have created traction for Artifact. People who would be there to actually make money trading cards. People who would realize that this is the card that's going to define the meta for the next 2 months. So I'll just buy it as the beginning of the season or the expansion and sell it off for a profit in 2 to 3 weeks. And I honestly believe that that was one of the strongest points for Artifact, that it could bring on this community, and this community already sort of existed on Valve concerning CSGO skins actually. So I think this isn't the best business decision by Valve, and it's actually pissing off the community, so that might be the reason why they will roll it back. But for some reason, I think also they won't. I honestly believe they just will keep it there, and once they have a better mechanism, they might implement that and return this. But so far, there is no other mechanism, so I just think this is their short-term solution. And I'm hoping it is, because otherwise, it might come to the point where Artifact just flops, not because it's a bad game, not because it's a bad trading card experience, but just because it takes a fucking week to trade an item. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider giving us a like here on YouTube and subscribing to the channel. If you're watching on Steemit, that appears to be up right now, so I will quickly go and do the post there. Then please consider giving us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment. Do you think the petition has a point, and do you think anti-swatting laws should be everywhere, at least in the United States? And with that being said, see you guys later with more gaming content. What the fuck?